Okay, get rid of a few of these bars. All right, so I'm ready to get started here. Hopefully you had a chance to download this little image right here that I thought was super cute, and we're just going to play around today and add some more stuff just to our repertoire of what we know how to do. It's kind of a refresher on some of these, but I just think it's kind of fun, especially if you don't remember how to add in different patterns. Notice that I put the patterns, the buffalo plaids and the hats down in the lower left and lower right. So we got this guy first, and the first thing, of course, we know we need to do is to go ahead and trace it. So if you're new to these classes, you're probably not sure how to trace things, so I'm going to go step by step how to do that first. So I think I'm recording. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that we do, let me get rid of this box right here because we don't need it right now, the text style panel. And I'm going to come way over here to the right where the toast is. I say it looks like toast. A lot of people think it looks like a butterfly. I'm going to click on that, and notice before I click on it, and I hover over it, it says the trace panel. So if you're ever wondering what any of these are, if you just hover over them, it gives you the name of the panel just like that, so you'll know what you're looking for or what you've stumbled upon. So again, I want the trace panel, so I'm going to click on this, and that opens up this trace panel right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and say select trace area. So to select the trace area, all I'm going to do is draw a box around it. And I actually don't need the word Merry Christmas. Did I save that? Oh, I did save it in one of the pictures. So I've got the trace area like this. And there it traced it. Notice the hat's kind of messed up. It's not turning out the way I want it to be. So I'm going to have to go, let's see if I want to change this at all. I'm going to up the threshold just a little bit. Whoa, look at that. Not like that. To make the lines a little less jagged. So now all I'm going to do is say trace. All right, and now that has been traced, so I can move this piece out of the way. And what I'm left with is this right here, which is what I want, kind of. But you'll notice I'm missing the hat. So let's move this jazz over, move this over this way. And let me go back and get the hat. Now let me show you how you're going to get that hat. All right, so we have this trace thing again. And this time, instead of tracing like I did before, I'm going to trace by color. So once again, if the trace panel was not open, I'd come over here to the little piece of toast and click on that to open it. Then I'm going to trace by color, which is the eyedropper right here that I'm highlighting. Click on that, and then notice it says trace by color. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to come over here and click on the white. And wait for it to trace. There we go. Now, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll come over here on the very right-hand side, see where it says single area over here. Lots of times I'll say all areas, but I think if I do that right now, it's going to get all of these little dots that I don't want. So I'll try it and see first, though, see what happens. Okay, yeah, see, I don't want all that jazz. So I'm just going to say single area. And I'll say trace. So this is how you create your own SVGs. And I know a lot of people are going to be teaching you how to do this for classes pretty soon coming up. And this is all you have to do. So I've already just traced this white piece. So now I'm going to take this piece over, and I have the white piece that I want right here. And you're wondering, well, what about that other little white piece? Well, we'll go back and get the same thing again. I'm going to do just this little ball on his hat. And you know what I thought would be really cute, you guys, if you were doing this on a card or something, to get some cotton or something like that, a cotton ball or something, and put it here and here to make it a 3D thing on a card. But anyway, I'm going to come over here again, the trace tool, Let me exit out so I can show you again. All you do is come over here to the very right-hand side, get the trace panel. I like to bring it over closer sometimes. I'm not going to just select the whole trace area again, but what I am going to do again is do the trace by color. So I'll click on that, trace by color, and then I'm going to go ahead and trace just that little ball on his hat, like that. Wait for it to work for a couple seconds. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm just going to say trace. And there we go, move this out of the way. So now what we have is that we've just created our own SVG that we can color. Some of you may have tried using Inkscape in the past, but I find this to be a lot easier. What I was doing just now, I don't know if you could tell, I was getting closer to my screen. I thought I saw some nodes that needed to be deleted, but it was actually a little spot on my screen, so I just got rid of that. Anyway, all right. So I'm just going to move this guy way over to the left now because I might need it again just in case I make a mistake. And I'm going to come back over to this one. And I'm going to group everything first just so I can kind of move it over. And we can see, we're going to try to duplicate some of these things right here in this page. So of course, the first thing that I would do when if I'm going to do this is I would come up here, I think was what I need. Nope. What happens if I just ungroup? Sometimes you just have to play to see what you get. Okay, if I just ungroup, notice I'm not able to get his hat by itself. I can get the white part because I made that by itself. But these other things are all still stuck together. So the only other thing you need to do is to come up here to Object and Release Compound Path. When I click on that, that's going to put boxes around all the little pieces over there. So watch, click. All right. Now look, I can click on his hat by itself. I can click on a boot by itself. The words Merry Christmas by themselves. So let's just start up here in the upper left-hand corner and say we want to do ho, 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 just like this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go ahead and color him so that I have one, and then I'm going to duplicate it so I have it for the next sample we're going to do. So to color it, I've selected his hat. I'm going to come up here to the left-hand side where the color swatch area is. And let's pretend I want to make it the exact same color of red that I have on my sample. So I'm going to come over here to this eyedropper tool and select the red. Notice what comes in that little box. Depending on what I'm over, that little box changes color because it's selecting whatever color I decide to click on. And I'm going to click on the red of his hat. There we go. So that's done. I'm going to do the white next. I'm going to click on that part of his hat, hold down my Shift key, and click on the other part of his hat. I don't know, is anybody working along with me? I'll make sure I go slow enough or let me know. Who said that?
Jody.
Oh, good. Okay, great, great. Okay, so I'm going to come up here now to the little color swatch area and click on the white. The only other thing I have yet to do now is to click on all the black parts and make them black. I could do them individually by clicking on a piece, holding down my Shift key, clicking on the next pieces. These are all black. Or I probably could just draw a box around all of it at once. I gotta make sure I have it all. Whoops, okay, I think I have it all. If not, I can go back and grab it. So all I'm gonna do now is come up to the color swatch area up in the upper left-hand corner and change it to black. Oh, I had a piece missed. No problem. Grab it, change it to black. Okay, so now I'm just, well, what I better do, I'll tell you what I'll do right now is I'll just change this one into Merry Christmas, and it'll be this middle guy right here. So all I'm doing now is I'm grabbing all of this, and I'm just going to come over here to the color swatch and make it black. Oh, what the heck? Okay, wait, let me undo that. So what's happened now is I need to change this and make it back into a compound path, because notice what it did. It went ahead and filled in the E, and this space between the T and the M, they must be connected, and in between the A. I believe if I come up here to Object, Make Compound Path, yep, perfect. That got rid of those pieces. Now you might notice that little bit of red around the edges. Let's see if I zoom in if you can see it more clearly. And not really, but all that red line there does is it indicates where my machine is going to cut. You notice it's around the boot, all these little areas too. And as I've said in previous classes, you don't need to worry about that at all. That's just an indicator for your machine to cut. But if it bothers you, you can come over here. This swatch right here on the very upper left right here, this is the fill color. It fills in the objects with this color. This one right here, notice it's the outline. So that's just the line color. You could make it transparent by clicking on this little thing that's part of the grid, and then you won't even see those lines at all. And I accidentally made the fill color transparent, which is not what I meant to do. So I'm going to change that back to black and change the line color to transparent. And then you no longer have that red around here. I see it's still around the dot of the I. I must not have had that selected. So anyway, what I can do is I can just select everything at once and come up here and tell it to make all the line colors transparent. And there we go. So that's the first guy, just like that, easy as can be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need this anymore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this guy by holding down the Alt on my keyboard. Notice what that does to my mouse. Right now it's a hand. When I click on the Alt key, it changes it into a plus sign. That's how I like to duplicate things. You also could go right click and say duplicate. Boop, right there. But for some reason, I just like to go ahead and grab it all, Alt, and bring one over. And I might make a couple of them over here just so I don't mess up. Oops. Okay, that was a dumb move because you know what, you guys? It's going to be hard for me to grab these individually. So what I need to do, I'm gonna group him first. So I'm grabbing all these pieces again. I'm going to right click and say group. And now I'm going to Alt and duplicate by dragging over. And now it won't matter how close they are to each other. I can still grab one out without just getting a boot since they're grouped. All right, so let's look here. We're going to do ho, ho, ho first right here. So I'm going to have to ungroup this. I'm going to scroll in a little bit to this one so you can see it and give you a moment to be thinking, what would you do? How would you do this? Just putting ho, ho, ho. If I ungroup these guys for a moment and move him over, you'll see that, look, you can see right through the ho, ho, ho. So if I was putting this on a shirt, if I was putting it on a, you know, whatever color shirt, the background would be showing through the ho, ho, ho. So let's go back over here. All right, here we have this guy, and I've already ungrouped it so I can just get the white part of the hat. And I've noticed over here on my ho, ho, ho one, if I type in, well, let's just do it. I'm going to come here to the text tool on the left-hand side, and I'm going to type in ho, ho, oh, I don't want that font, but I'll change it. Ho, 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 exclamation mark, exclamation mark. All right, so I'm going to change that font because it looks like I did not use this one right here. So to change the font, I just highlighted this, and I'm going to come up here to the upper, or to the right-hand side, I'm sorry, where it says Text Style Panel. Click on that, and when I open it, I can choose any one of these fonts that I like, and I don't happen to remember what this one was. I guess I could click on it to figure it out. Just make up a new one. I'll just do Arial. I don't think that's what I did, but that's what I'll do. Arial, and I made it bold by clicking here where the B is, because I wanted it to be a little bit thicker. So I can bring it up here and see, well, now how's that going to work? Well, it's a little too big right now. I kind of like it just like that. Can you notice the issue I'm going to have with this, though? Look at that little slit that's going to be in the hat. That's going to mess up my ho, ho, ho. So we need to get rid of that. And we do that by simply messing with the nodes. So I'm going to double click on this shape, and that brings up the nodes, or the little, what do they call them over here? Points. It brings up the points. So I'm going to click on this one right here in this corner, in the angled end area. When it turns white, that means it's an active node, and I can just delete it. And I'm going to click on this one that's really far in, delete. This one, delete, delete. I just keep deleting them until I'm happy with what I've got. And that looks pretty good. I bet that will work fine. So let's see. We can bring the ho, ho, ho down here. And that's going to work perfectly. Originally what I thought I really should curve it just a tiny little bit. And I did do that. But I decided I really liked it just straight across instead. So to have this cut out of the white part, all you do is click on the word ho, 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 hold down your shift key, click on the white, and then we're going to subtract that out. So all you have to do that is to come over here to the modify panel. Like I said, if you're new to this program and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'll never remember all this, you'll be surprised. There are a few panels over here that you'll use a lot, and I bet within a week you'll know exactly which one you need for a lot of the projects that you're going to do. So we're going to actually, I'll show you, you'll use the trace panel probably a lot. You'll probably use the modify panel and the offset panel. I also use this one that transforms, it kind of aligns things. I like to use this one also. So right now though, we're going to go to the transform panel. I'm sorry, the modify panel. Go into the modify panel. And what we're going to do when this opens is we're going to subtract the word ho, ho, ho out of the white that's behind it. So I've selected a ho, 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 held down my shift key, got the white, and now I'm going to say subtract. There it is, perfect, just like that. I think when I move this, it's going to leave the middle part of the O behind. It does. So I could group it if I want to, but this is going to be cut out of vinyl probably, so it really wouldn't matter because it would stay. I could group it though, and now it will stay like that. So again, the color of the shirt is what's going to show behind this. Let's look, did I get, oh, but wait, I didn't want it to be white, did I? I did my sample as green for this one. Let's double check. Yep, there it was green. So it's easy to change that to green. Just click on it, come up here to the upper left-hand corner to the paint palette, and change it to green. And there you go. Just like that. So that guy's done. All right, let's get rid of him. Okay, I'll delete it. Just giving you guys a chance if you're trying to get caught up. Okay, now we got this second guy, and I guess I'll do this. When you stop believing in Santa, you get underwear. So what I did to do this, and I'm sure there are many ways to do it, but what I did was I just got a circle over here on the left-hand side. I held down my shift key, so I actually was making a circle, so it wasn't weird shaped. Just made it large so I knew it would cover that, and then I'm going to look and see how I need to adjust it. So I'm going to right-click on the circle and say send to the back. All right, so now my circle is made, and I'm going to right-click on that and send it to the back. So now I can put my text on this circle. And I think I actually moved it in a little bit closer, but let's look and see what this is going to look like. So I came over here to the text tool and typed in, "When you stop believing in Santa." I did it all in caps again. Put my caps lock on. When you stop believing. Okay, when you stop believing in Santa. I noticed it put it on its own lines like that, and I want it on just one line. So what I'm going to do is just come over here and get this bar to the right of the text and just stretch it out till everything's on one line. Now I'm going to change the font because I certainly don't want that one again. I'm going to highlight it and come over here to the text style panel. And I'll choose something. Let's see. I'm thinking that I bet what I used is my new kind of favorite, the Caviar Dreams, I'm guessing. I'm going to try it and see. Yeah, it looks like it. All right. So when you stop believing in Santa. So let's see. I know I'm going to have to make it a lot smaller. Maybe like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I can try to bring this over top of the circle as much as I want, and it's not going to curve to that circle unless I make this back to being editable text. And the way I do that is just double click on it. And you know it's now editable text because it has the green bars around it, this bar here, and the magic four-headed arrow. I'm going to drag that down now. And just like that, it jumps right onto what I want it to jump onto. And if I want to, what I could do now is I could change the letter spacing if I'd like by coming down here in the text style panel. And where it says character spacing, I could change that. Maybe I want it more, further apart than that. And then use this arrow, the four-headed arrow, to do this, moving it back and forth. Looks pretty good. If I was keeping this circle in here for some reason and I wanted this to be off of the circle, all I have to do is take this little zipper item right here, and maybe I should be scrolling in a little bit. Okay, this little thing that to me looks like a zipper, and when I push it out, look what it does with the text. Moves it off the object that I had it curved to, or I could bring it inside if I wanted to. But I'll just have it right here. I'm going to be getting rid of this circle, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so when you stop I before E, okay, yep, in Santa. And sometimes what I like to do is if I want to make sure these are totally even on both sides, and I know they're not right now, I can bring down a little line from right up in here in the ruler area. When you click there and hold your mouse key, you see that line I'm dragging down? I can drag that line down like this. Then I'll have a reference point. It's very hard to see after I let go of it, but you'll be able to see it on your computer more easily, especially if you do it on the white mat. But I'll get this back to the editable text, and then I can drag this, and I can actually move this guy up to see how I'm doing. And again, double click. So I'm trying to make it so the letters are lined up nicely, and that looks pretty good. So I could drag this thing back out of the way if I want. All right, so when you stop believing in Santa, I got to change the next part to you get underwear. So I'm going to click on the text tool over here again on the left and type in you get underwear. And I'm not sure why it keeps going back to this text, because usually it's supposed to stay in the text you just used. Whoops. But mine's been doing that. I don't know if that's a little glitch in the program. It's not that big of a glitch, though, so I can easily fix it. Again, I want this all on one line, so I'm going to stretch it out like that. And then I'm going to highlight it. And I know the font that I used was Caviar Dreams. It's that one that I downloaded from dafont.com. All right. Now, let's say we want both of these texts to be the same size. I can click on this one right up here. And let's see, I'm going to move this thing out of my way. Okay, double click on this to get the text editing back. And then when I do that, I can see way up here by the name of the font what size I made it. So I made it 38.13, which is kind of different, but I'll just do the same for this one now. 38.13. So I clicked on it. I'm going to come up here and type in 38.13 and hit enter on my keyboard, and then that made it the same size. The difference is I did remember I went over here to the character spacing in the text style panel. I moved the letters apart. Why is it not moving them? Oh, look what I'm doing. I was wondering why it wasn't working. Right now I'm messing with the line spacing, and there's only one line. So of course nothing's happening. I want to mess with the character spacing. And then I need to figure out why. Let's see, leave that big. I guess that looks okay. All right, so here we go. You get underwear. I don't know, that spacing might not be quite the way I'd like it to be, but I'll leave it like that for right now. So I'm going to double click on it again, because remember, if I just try to bring this up before double clicking, I cannot get it to go around that circle no matter what. But if I do double click on it and get this magical four-headed arrow back, move that in, I can bring it right up here. Now, it can be like that if I want it to be. I could make it be upside down like that. But because sometimes I've seen patches and stuff that have things like that. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to be right side up. So notice what I did. Here, oops, now I can't get it to go upside down. Here. All right, now all I'm getting, okay, there we go. I had it upside down for a sec. Okay. Okay, so here it's upside down. The only difference is you just push it further in and then it'll go right side up. But you might be thinking, but I don't want it inside of the circle. I want it on the outside. And that's where the little zipper comes into play. So you get the little zipper-like thing and push it out. And then it puts it outside right where you want it. Okay. So what you have to do now is you have to click on this and let's say convert to path, and then that will stay rounded like that and it's not attached to the circle anymore. Notice the top one is still attached to the circle, which I don't want. So I'm going to click on the word up there, make sure that's highlighted, right click and say convert to path, or I could come up here to object, convert to path. Either way works well. And now I can just move that circle out of there. And this is done just like this. I could change its coloring if I want to make the text black. And I could have made it bold if I wanted to. Since it's so thin, this would probably be a print and cut. And if I wanted to, I could move this closer and move this closer. That will affect the shape of the circle, of course. It's going to look more like an oval, I guess. But that's how that works. And so I would just group this. And that is that one. So easy to curve your text in this program. The other thing I could have done was I could have, if this was going to be a print and cut, I also could have, let's see, ungroup. I wonder if I still can. I doubt it. Let's see what will happen if I try to offset it. Oh, I could still offset. Look at there. So I could put white around it if I wanted to. And if I had made, pardon me?
I have a little question.
Sure.
When I do the text on the bottom of the circle, and I was playing with this the other night, and once it's inside and it's upside down, and I do my zipper, it stays upside down, but it still moves outside. Did I miss a step?
Yeah, you just, let's see, let's go Control Z and go back a little bit.
The only way I was getting it to work the other night for me was doing another circle so that it was like inside the two and then removing.
Okay,
like it
so
was a
let's see.
track
Oh,
almost.
stop. It's still going backwards. Okay, so what you're saying is when you do this, it's, oopsie, I can't, sometimes it's hard to get it to do exactly what you, oh,
Oh, fart. Sorry.
oh no, there we go. Okay, so it's upside down, right?
Uh-huh.
So you had yours upside down like that, right? And then
Uh-huh.
you did the zipper and it was still upside down when you brought it out here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, you just missed a little step. So you don't want to leave it like this. So I would take it back off of there and push it in. So if I stop right here, well, sometimes if you stop right here, it's upside down.
You're not gonna be able to recreate,
But
right?
if you, yeah, if you push it in further, you just have to play with it because
Okay.
now it's not cooperating and being upside down. Come on, buddy, you can do it. You usually do it when none of us want you to.
That's cool. I'll keep playing with it.
Oh. Anyway, there we go. We got it upside down. It's outside. So anyway, all you have to do to get it right side up is keep pushing that in. You see how it changed?
Mm-hmm.
And bring it from the inside. Maybe that's the trick. Bring it from the inside to what you want it to. Nope, that's not the trick. So you just have to play around with pushing your, see how my mouse is going up and down with it, depending on where you have that. So it's just a matter of playing with it and getting it to do what you need it to do, if that helps.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure. All right. Anybody else have any questions about this one? So again, remember now, if you want to get rid of it, you don't want it on that circle. You don't want that circle in your project. All you do is click on the text, right click and say convert it to a path, and then it will stay that rounded way and you can get rid of this. If you don't convert it to a path, chances are it's going to go back to straight text if you do get the circle off, and that's not what you want. So convert it to a path. All right, let's see, who do we got next? Well, you know, I'm going to jump. Okay, what I want to do is I want to make sure I tell you the one about getting the plaid here, because you might like to do that. And then y'all can let me know, you know, which you want me to do if next. So this guy right here, to get the plaid. All right, so I got this guy right here. And I want to make his hat plaid. Here's what you got to do. You come over here. Oh, first you have to ungroup it. I have just his hat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the paint palette, open the fill panel. I'm going to go to this one, the fill pattern. And I happen to have in my patterns that I've downloaded these two patterns that I like right here. So I'll make it the red one. And so now you don't have those in yours yet. I'll show you how to get a pattern into yours so you'll have it and you can place it in anything. For example, maybe I want the top of this boot to be the green. I can just click the green and then those are the green. So maybe I want this to be the green. So all you have to do to get these patterns is you go online. Let's see. So what I did was on Google. Now I need to change my share. Let's see. Okay, here we are in Google. All I did was I typed in, what's it called? Oh yeah, buffalo plaid. Buffalo plaid. Then a bunch of images came up. Of course, I came up here and said images. I'm confused. There they are. Images. And then, of course, as you know, like I always like to do, I want to come over here to tools. And I want to make sure that I get a really large image because it will be clearer. So large. And then I just went down here and tried to find one that I liked. So I'll just take this one. I wanted to make sure it wasn't one that was going to have like a ruler in it, or this one looks kind of weird down here and on the sides. If you'll notice the one on the right I'm pointing out, the sides look kind of different. So I didn't like that one. I don't like this one because it's not totally straight up and down. Let's see. I don't remember which one I saved, but you could just look through these until you find one that you like. Huh. this might be one of the ones I wouldn't want. Nope. That one looks pretty nice. But some of these, if they're fabric, they put a ruler up alongside of it so you can tell if you're going to use this as fabric, you know, what size the squares are. So let's just say I'm going to use this one right here. So I would go to click on it and go to Save Image As. And I'm just going to save it in my downloads as plaid. Say save. All right, then I'm going to come back to Silhouette. So I'm going to change my share again. Whoops, there we go. Okay, we're back here. Now what I need to do is this. I'm going to come up here to File. Whoops, Library. Import to Library. So I'm bringing something into my library. Import to. Then I'm going to find that new thing that I just did, plaid. I like the other one I had better. This one's okay though. So I'll do plaid, say okay. So now that's in my library. Here it is right here, right? Now, when you open your library, you'll notice that there's all these folders over here, and you can actually, you know, fix this so it's not as jumbled as mine is. I have junk all over the place. I'm not a very organized person. But what I do have is I have, there is a folder over here called Patterns. And I'm just going to drag this by clicking on it, holding my mouse key down and just dragging it over here and putting it in Patterns right there. If it was glitter, I could put it into my glitter folder that I made. Or fall, I have some acorns and fall leaves and that kind of stuff. So all the while I'm moving this around talking, I'm holding my mouse key down. I haven't dropped it anywhere yet. You can see it's still with me. I'm just going to drop it in the regular Patterns part like that. So notice it's no longer in this part of my library. If I go back to Designs and I could look it over here, you can already see it's been put in there. It's right here. This is the one I had, buffalo plaid, and this is the one I just put in here, just named it plaid. So I could change his boots to my new plaid by clicking like that. So that's how easy it is to do that. And of course, this would be really cool for print and cuts if you did these kind of things. And actually, you know, I think I'm deciding I like that one a little bit better. Change his hat to that. I don't know. If I was doing this, I might like to make this a little bit less white as well. But anyway. Oh, and by the way, don't forget now, when you put this in here, since it's in your patterns, you can go to Advanced Options and you can change the scale of the pattern, make it really, really big or really small. Okay, to fit your purpose depending on how big your object is. And if it had different parts on it, you could click on this pan, and then that allows you, whoopsie, like that. Oh, wait a minute, I see. Click on pan, and then this little arrow right here, see, I can move this around in case there was some part on this pattern that I really wanted to make sure I got in his hat. Okay, so the other thing, you know, you could scale it, you can change the angle and that kind of thing. So I just really like this. Okay.
Nancy shared a link for a site to create your own pattern.
Okay, cool. Is that the same one we went to the other day?
I'm not sure.
It may be. Do you see this pattern? Was it something like this one, Nancy? Because I had learned about this one the other day, which I was going to share later. Maybe this one right here. Wouldn't be good for his hat. Is it that one that has these kind of things? Was it the Clever Someday lady that showed it? Okay, well. Anyway, wouldn't work for this very well, but it's really cool over there.
I think I did get that from Clever Someday, but it was a plaid generator only. It didn't have the other patterns.
Oh, okay. Have you seen this one where it has like tons of other
Yes,
patterns?
I have seen that one too. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'll have to check out that plaid generator. That's neat. Okay, so this one, anybody have any questions about this guy? Oh, okay. Let's get rid of him. Oh, Santa, I can explain. I even put the what do you call it? The plaid in there in the font. All right, which one you guys, anything you guys want to do next? Because it's 10:41. Okay, we did this guy. Let me get rid of him.
I have another question.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I only have a Cricut. I don't have a Cameo or,
Right, sure.
but when I go to import to library, mine is grayed out. Is there a reason? Is it because I
But
have the,
wait, are you working in the business edition?
yes,
Huh, I don't know why that would be great.
I have import library
Nope.
and library, but import two is grayed out.
Library. So that's, I'm not really sure. Let me look at something right quick. Let's see if I go to help and view in, if I check and see in another edition, if I just have the standard, just curious. Library, oh, that still shows up there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I'll have to do some research for you and see why that would be.
I'll figure it out. I was just curious if you knew off the top of your head.
I do not. That's something I have no idea.
I think, did you upgrade to the new version?
No, because it keeps erroring out every time I do it.
I think that, yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with it, because
Okay.
they have a problem with the library right now. And there, if I can, afterward, I'll send you a message of what they told me to do when I had to uninstall mine. And now I have the upgraded version, but I had to put that in there to delete the library, and it brought it back. So I'm thinking that's what's wrong with yours. I'll send you the steps after
Cool,
class.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, it looks like the only thing left that's kind of unusual or different is,
Tammy, this is
Yeah.
Pat Wells. Could you send me those two? I'm not sure if I have that issue as well.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
okay, so the last one we have to do is just this one right here, I guess, and it's just putting text in there. Uh-oh, where's my guys? I hope they're still over here, my little leftovers. Ah, there he is. All right, so far you've learned how to make this into an SVG if you weren't aware of how to do that. And for those of you who do have a Cricut and you're going to use it as a Cricut, remember what you want to do is you want to change this. Let me show you. You want to go ahead. Let me ungroup this for a sec. So what you want to do is you want to, if you're going to do this as a print file, I think that we've decided that the best thing to do, not print, cut file, the best thing for you to do then is to come up here to either this paint palette right here that says select by color, or you could do edit and select by color. But if you come to this little paint palette up here where it says select by color and open that, and then it just comes up by line usually, change it to by fill, and then what you're going to do is select all of these things by color. So there's only one red. So if you select that, nothing's happening really. But if you select the black, hey, why is that not selecting anything? Okay, what did I do?
The click button for on the mat or not.
Oh, you're right. Only shapes on the media. Okay, so we got to put it, see what Nancy was just saying? I had clicked here, only shapes on the media, which means only shapes on the mat. So I'm glad you helped me with those things, because sometimes when you're live, you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? All right, so yes. So right now I have only shapes on media, which I prefer to use most of the time, because if I don't have that selected, it's going to select every piece of black all over my whole area here, all of these things here. So I hope I'm not confusing you horribly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all this on my media, on my mat. And now it's going to include the groups and only shapes on the media. So if I say to select the black, all the black, notice what it's doing? Selecting all of the black right here on my mat. And what I want to do is I want to right click on that and say make compound path. So that keeps it as one piece. So when you take it over there to Cricut Design Space, it's not going to come in as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little cut files. It's just going to come in as one piece. Okay, but watch, let me undo that for a second and I'll show you why I always have that select the stuff on the media only. Because if I uncheck that, and then I say for it to select the black, it's going all over here and selecting any black it's finding. Notice, see all those little squares it's putting around all of the black. And I don't want that. I only want to select the black stuff I want selected, which is the stuff on the media. So the other one that I would need to do, I've done, let me do that again because I undid it. So I'm going to select the black, right click and say make a compound path. So those are done. I also want to select the white because remember there were two pieces of white. Right click and say make compound path. And then those will go over to Cricut Design Space perfectly. This will be one cut file. This will be a cut file, as will this. And I'll show you that for those of you who are using Cricut right quick. So I'm just going to grab all of this and group it, I guess. And so I have a selection here, right? I don't want all of this other stuff to be sent to my Cricut machine or to my Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to select this, come up here to File, Save Selection. Not just Save As or Save. I want to save that, only that stuff I selected. Save Selection to hard drive. And I'll just name this Cricut Test. And I need to save it as an SV. Uh-oh. Look at that, you guys. Do you know why I can't save it as an SVG? Because
I forgot to switch back.
Yep, I forgot to switch back. When I went to help before to see what would see if the problem was because she didn't have the business edition, I changed this to view in standard or free edition. The only way I can save it as an SVG is if I have the business edition. So now I can go to File, Save Selection to my hard drive, and Santa Test, I guess. I don't remember what I said. Oh, I said Cricut Test. Santa Test. And now look at all these options I get. I'd save it as a JPEG if I was going to do a print and cut, but I'm going to do a cut file, so I'm saving it as an SVG, Santa Test, and now I'll open Cricut Design Space and let's see. So I'll have to change my share in just a sec so you can see it. Share, Cricut, share. Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. I would just go to Upload, Upload an image, Browse. Maybe it's the last one. Yes, Santa Test, Open. Area is perfect, except for he's a little bit not quite together. Save. There it is. Insert. So what I want, let me ungroup this. Oops, I gotta move something. Ungroup. Okay. So what I'm basically trying to show is this. Look over here now in the layers panel, and as I said, this hat and the little puff ball, the little fuzz ball, comes in as one cut piece. The boots come in as one cut file, I should say. Instead of, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instead of 8 little pieces in the layers panel, there's just one. And if I go to make it, it's going to work just like this. It's hard to see there. You can see it easily on the hat. So that's what you'll want to do for Cricut Design Space. So to refresh your memory again, let me show you. Let's go back to, whoopsie, okay, I know I messed that part up. I'm going to go back to the right screen sharing. Hang on. Okay, so here we are. Let me refresh your memory again. What you'll need to do for Cricut is just this. Let's say we have this one. I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to make it bigger so we can see. So to save this for Cricut, what you'll want to do, ungroup, is come up here to this little paint palette to select by color, or go to Edit and select by colors, grayed out again. So I'm going to go to this one. Select by color, and again, usually it'll come in by line. We'll change it by fill. I'm going to grab all the black together. Oopsie, guess what's happening? Same thing as before. Move this off of here. And that's probably why it wasn't letting me do it. There we go. Okay, so now I can do it. Click the black, and that got all of the black here. So instead of each one of these pieces on this boot and each letter coming in separately, they'll come in all as one cut file after I say right click and make compound path. There it is, perfect. The white, there's only one piece, and the red, there's only one piece. So I leave those as they are. And again, what I would do is then just go to, let's see, let me move that over there. Again, what I would do is select this and group it. And I would just save the selection because I still have this other stuff over here that would also be saved if I didn't just say save selection. Okay. So if you're not sure you know what I mean, I can show you what will happen if I don't save selection. I'll just go ahead and do that. File, save as, save to hard drive, and I'm just going to name it the same thing I did before, Santa Test. And I'm going to save it as an SVG. And this time it should be, it's already there. Do I want to replace it? Yes. So now when I open Cricut Design Space, and I'll change my share in just a sec. So let's get here. Can you share? There we go. All right. So now if I go in Cricut Design Space, I say upload, browse, Santa Test. Come here. Okay, Santa Test, open. Okay, it says something behind this box and I can't see it because there's some stuff in it. I don't know what that means. Somebody told me something about something costing money. What is that? Anybody know what that is? I don't know. Do you see that up there?
Yeah, I see it. I have
What
no
is
idea.
that? I just said okay. So I don't know if it's going to charge me $1. I don't know what that meant. But anyway, so I'll just say save. And you can see there's some extra junk coming in with this, right? All that other stuff that I didn't really want at all has come in. There's these little things over here. This was the square, the white square that I had on top of something. So that shows you why I want to save the selection as. And over here on the layers panel, you'll see that the ho, each one of those things is separate. Let's see if Layla, I'm not sure where that is. Can't even read. Oh, that says believe, and each letter is separate. But if I had done what I had told you to do over in Silhouette, the word believe would be just one cut file, and it would be hooked together with anything else that's black in the same area. I hope that makes sense. Let's go back. Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Okay, Donna. Yep, I'm recording. Yep. What time is it? Okay, we got like 6 more minutes or so. You know, this runs something like 1 hour, sometimes more,
I'm trying to
sometimes
figure
less.
out why it would do that in Cricut because there's nothing here that belongs to them for you to be charged for bringing
No,
it.
I've seen some people saying that. Why am I being charged? Why does it say there's a charge? And I never really followed through to see if someone had an answer. I just saw people saying that there was an issue, and it says they were being charged for things. So I have no idea. I don't think I was charged, but I don't know because they do have my credit card on file. That would be interesting. Anyway, all right. So I guess that's pretty much it, unless you wanted to see. But this putting the text in here just involved right-clicking, ungrouping, taking this part out. I need to ungroup and keep that little ball. Got to move this. All right, I had to release the compound path to get that. And then all I did was put the text in here instead of having the white piece. And of course, as we learned in that other class, we could have made it, the text actually fit this totally, the outline of this. But that would be a little more involved for just, and then just doing this. So I guess that's it. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week where we will be doing the screen printing. Oh yeah, and don't forget. Wait, one sec. Let's see, share. Hold on one sec. Okay, don't forget, on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, my sister sent me this package. So this is going to be every Wednesday. She's going to send me something new to do. This is going to kind of make me get out of my little box that I'm in. So what she sent me this time, I'm not always going to peek in advance, but she sent me these things from Joann's. And then this, and has a hole already drilled in it. And these are actually, there's actually 3 of them here. They're very thin. That, and she sent me all the vinyl that I'll need for the project that she chose. So again, it's Wednesday live at 1 o'clock. So all of the vinyls that I'll need are here. She told me what design she wants me to put on here. And she also sent some leather type string to use for the tie-up. So I'm hoping, since she's buying these things for me, which I'm reimbursing her, don't think she's so nice. I'm buying these things for her. She just loves to shop and I hate to shop. So she's shopping online for me and sending me the things. And she likes to design, in her head, to design things, but she doesn't actually like to do the crafts. So she's sending them to me, and I'll probably give her the thing that I make as payment. So hopefully that'll encourage her to make things, or to send things that she really likes. So I actually know what this one's going to be this Wednesday, and I actually know what the following Wednesdays is going to be. And it's something that several of you have been asking me to do. So you'll have to stay tuned for that one too to see what it is. I'm not going to tell yet. So, all right. Yay, Veronica. Thank you. What? Yes.
Did you share the website for that other pattern thing? Did I miss it? Did you put it up?
I didn't. I don't have it. Do you have it right handly? I forgot to get it, to have it on hand.
Yeah, I'd have to close out Zoom. I'll get it. We'll put it up on the in the group.
So yeah, I just mentioned it in one line when Nancy had given us the plaid generator website. I just mentioned if that's where she had gotten it from. So, but my silhouette had to update, and was using a different iPad. Oh, okay. Yep. You'll be able to watch the recording. Okay, I guess that's it. So I'll see you all again next week, hopefully on Wednesday, actually, for the live. And I actually have been trying to do lives almost every day. It's a lot of fun. So if you have an idea of something I could do, let me know. I'd love to be able to do whatever you'd like me to try. So is there a 10 Zoom class next Saturday? Oh yeah. Oh wait, the 10 o'clock class is the screen printing class next Saturday. The 1 o'clock class, the 1 o'clock classes I have live on YouTube are just other classes. So next Saturday at 10 a.m. is the screen printing. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
Oh yes, and if you guys are available to watch the lives, don't forget it. I'm sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that little bell so you get notified whenever we do a live.
And be sure to put a thumbs up.
Yes, and share. The more the merrier. So, okay. Thanks, you guys. See you again soon. Bye.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Bye.
Bye everybody.